Welcome everyone, this is the Simpid, this is Michi Hoyer. Welcome to this episode of Simracing Academy, so a guided driving session together with John Seyerle. That name is actually German, but I can't freaking speak it out, it is a joke. Honestly, this has taken me like so much practice already and I've binned it right in the first attempt. Anyway, today we're going to be here with John in the Porsche 911 in the GT3 Cup car around Silverstone. So one of the new GT3 Cup cars on rFactor 2. We're up here for another coaching and yeah, gonna see how things panned out. John has come towards me as he wanted to go quicker in this cars as the hot lap competition on rFactor 2 went not too well for him, so he saw that he is a couple of seconds off to most of the people, and therefore got the coaching into me, and yeah, I'm happily helping him on that one. Just let me quickly reassemble some things here, and then we'll be fine. So we're taking the Porsche around Silverstone, and basically every time I'll start with the same thing. I just watch the people driving first to then start working on them together. Hey John, here's Michi. So just take a few laps out, go as quickly as possible, like in a standard way how you used to do it. I will take some notes, then we're gonna start working on something. Don't feel pressurized just because I'm watching you. Just try to pretend that you be on your own for right now. If you spin, you spin, and we just keep carrying on as long as you say, okay, right, this is sort of what I can do at the moment, and I will start intervene beforehand as soon as I see stuff.
Sounds good.
So, John is on its way to finish his first in-lap. Copy. And I'm watching his progress. Here on the server. And take a look at his driving. So coming up turn 1. Can definitely work on driving lines together. For turn 3 and 4, let's have a look how 6 goes. Turn 7 actually looks good. But turn 6 could have been a lot later at the apex. For turn 7 the line is really good as we speak about this tight, white, tight thing. So the double apex, 180 degree right hander. Turn 9, need to look a little bit further into that. Now Mackett's, Beckett's and Chapel. Yeah, to my liking, a little too fast in Mackett's and Beckett's. First lap is 2 minutes, well, off track. Okay, turn 1 looks definitely better. Yeah, a little too... too straight in between those turn 4, turn 3. Okay, setting it up over the bump there. Turns haven't looked good though. Well, still, I mean, we have quite little things to work around on. Didn't look too bad. 53.4. It's also quite interesting to see, as we obviously compare this session to another session that was given to Hungry Force guy. He did the same thing here in the Audi. And Porsche drives a little differently. They should be able to reach the same pace though. 2 minutes 1.5. Okay, I got some. Thank you very much indeed so far. Quick question. Are you sure that you're reaching 100% on the throttle? Because I can see some tiny little space missing there when watching the pedal inputs.
So it seems when I look at the pedal registrations that it's going all the way up, but it could be that maybe I'm missing like the last 0.5%.
That should be fixed, to be honest. You know how to?
Yep. So I'm at the control setting, just
Yep.
looking at my throttle dead zone and percentage. So I just click them in with no pressure. Now I'm pushing to a relatively end position. I'll actually make it really light. So I'll put it about 85% and hit max.
I would even press it like close to 98. Or basically
Okay.
just put out the throttle max and see where the counter stops, or see where the bar stops. And just release a tiny little notch and then click max. Because, you know, you want to give yourself as much room as available onto those settings, as it is very important that you can be sensible to throttle or pedal inputs in general.
Okay, I've done that. Just saving it.
Okay. Yeah, feel free to go out again because I want to see the actual difference on the pedal inputs, please.
Okay.
So we're also talking about
Going out again.
technical things. Yeah, and just feel free to put in a lap or two again. Okay, I can still some sort of see not 100%, but this could also be down to my settings. Now it's 100. Now it works fine.
Yeah, I'm pressing it really hard.
Yeah, it jumps up and down. So maybe the dead zone is not sufficiently set, but we can just adjust that after the next lap. For now, it should give you already a better... Undoubtedly, you're missing some performance here, but this could also be traction controlled, a little percent missing. May have to recheck that and do some back-to-back run and test. But that could also be done alone, obviously. So let us focus again on how he deals with the other not cars, how he deals with the other corners here. Copse corner, you really want to be on that curb and having the slow in, fast out. Back hits. Yeah, that is a way better approach to it. Okay. Driving line wise, there's not a lot of things to do really. Need to work definitely a little bit on the driving style, on rail braking and stuff. On turn 2. Like here he's missing to go further out and then put the car into the right place for exits. I think he's on low fuel right now as well. May want to change that. Forgot to tell him though. Yeah, a little too impatient here on the throttle. Was a purple first sector though, so 32.6. That was a better exit. So turn 10 to 14 looks pretty good already. It's just minor adjustments we need to do here really. Also purple middle sector. Maybe it doesn't screw up too badly around here. This is gonna be easy PB. Surely there is a lot of time located in the setup. But yeah, that is turn 4 is really where we really need to work. Go wide into turn 4. And the rest is just basically work. Can also carry a lot more speed into turn 6. I need to stay a little tighter here in 7, but overall feel looks good. First sector has been purple again by a 10th. So he's still getting the groove. Oh, he lacked some time there. And dead. Interesting. How much? By the way, how much fuel you got?
I was running 13 liters.
Okay, so you probably know why you spun out, right?
No, not really. I think I just oversteered it.
Not entirely true in that regard. And we can go a little further back into the tape, if you look at the tape replay, and this is vital though, if you go tape replay position 849.4,
Okay.
and feel free to go in your onboard and make sure you're gonna see your pedal inputs.
Just watching.
Mm-hmm.
A bit of a bad angle on the tape. I think I got too high up on the curb, maybe?
No, actually what happened here, when you got off the curb, you are 60% on the brakes, or 50% on the brakes. And then you see the wheel also from, I'm not sure whether you see your steering wheel in the car, whether you got that activated. It has like a little hole in the middle if you got it activated. It's no biggie if you don't see it, because you can see on the pedal inputs and the driving inputs on the left that you're very slightly just steering to the right. However, in that moment when pushing the brakes, all the weight is on the front, no weight is in the rear, putting the rear tires down on the ground, so there is no downforce, you may say, despite rear wing and stuff. But the entire weight is at the front, and that makes you spin in that moment. But at the same time, it is important that you did it, because you need to make use of this kind of car behavior, which is very typical for the... Oh dear. Hello?
Hey, Michi, can you hear me?
Oh shit, I forgot to push to talk.
I can hear you now.
Okay, my bad. Let me quickly rephrase everything. Yeah. What you haven't got in your brain, you have in, well, feet or mouth. Anyway, okay, let's go back to tape 489.0. That's perfectly fine. You can hear me now, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, my bad. Sorry. Okay, so what happened here is, while you've been on the curb, or while getting off the curb, basically, at 84.90 or 84.91, you can do that too. You're 50% on the brakes, and very, very slightly turning to the right-hand side. Now, with being on the brakes, all your weight is on the front, especially at that speed. The entire weight comes from the rear, goes to the front. Now the front is loaded with weight, and it will do the movement, what you do on the wheel, as precisely, because beside that little downforce that is there aerodynamically, the downforce of the weight is now very much at the front, and keeps the rear unloaded, so to say. And the Porsche is a very tail-happy car in that regard, so it is very likely to spin on the brakes, as it favors a very much brake balance in the rear. So I'm not sure what is the brake balance you're on.
Just a second. So currently the brake balance is set to... It's 50-50.
Yeah, that makes total sense. I mean, in the Porsche, 50-50 is probably about right, but here for rFactor 2, I would probably still go with like 53 or 55, because what happened here, the weight in the front was there and the tires gripped, and the weight in the rear was gone and the tires didn't grip, and therefore you simply spun out. However, it's very important that you did that mistake, because we're going to use this kind of characteristics of the car to make it turn.
Okay.
So the key word is to balance the car with a brake. And I must warn you, this will probably take ages until you get it right. It took me like 7 or 8 months to get it entirely right. And still today I'm not getting it entirely right every single time, but we're going to start dealing with it. And I'm probably going to show you how you would do it. Therefore, would like you to send me a setup real quick, if that's possible.
Okay.
Shall the setup been seen or not seen? Shall it been hidden?
Seems fine.
Okay. And I obviously need to get one or other lap to get into grip with it. But I keep telling you stuff about the driving right now. In general, your driving lines are pretty good. We may need to do some redefinition. You're lacking surely like 3 or 4 tenths out of turn 4, as in compromising your entry too much. But we're gonna take care of that real quick. Let me see. Have you sent me the setup already?
No, just so then I assign it to you, right?
Yeah, and then you go standings, and at the bottom it says voting.
Yep.
And then you click send up garage setup.
Sent.
Great. So I'm gonna take a look on that real quick and see how it is set up in general. Very low range lock, which is probably, oh well, yeah, it is personal liking, but it's pretty good. Yep, and elsewise setup does not look too bad. I see you changed the brake bias already to 53.5, right?
Yep.
Okay. So feel free to watch me, obviously.
Okay.
And then you're gonna pretty soon see what I'm talking about. By balancing the car on the brakes, we're gonna keep this kind of brake input during the corners, as you can see it right now.
Yep.
In order to make the car rotate. I'm trying to show that a little to you. So we're gonna go for the brakes, keep the brakes attached until we are at the apex. Here for turn 4 you need to go fairly more like this, and then go deep in, and then you can go pretty quickly out. I have to admit I need to get down to this steering range at first. So also where you lack a lot of time is the upcoming turn 6, where this braking technique is really coming into play, as you can brake a lot later, but if you keep the brakes attached the car will rotate around the corner. Same goes for turn 7. You make this here, having the brake literally attached, going a little slower, but this will actually give you a better exit, as you got more room to play with the velocity. Same goes for Cops Corner. Brakes, and yeah, it's spun on me now as well, as it is pretty dangerous to do. It requires a lot of car balance, it requires a lot of practice with it, it requires a lot of sensible controls. And yeah, here the car starts literally rotating on its own as soon as you hit the brakes. This is probably due to your soft anti-roll bar at the front. Well, it's still stiffer than in the rear, but it's probably not soft enough in order for the balance. So there's too much roll in the car, making the front suspension sort of snap, and with the rear not being able to catch it. If you know what I mean?
Yep.
So you see pretty much there is no type of time, or there's no kind of second where I'm not pushing on any pedal, which is important, because if you're not on the throttle you need to be on the brakes in order to make the car rotate.
So yeah, it's on off, on off.
Yeah. I really need to do 1 or 2 laps, as your setup is a different kind of philosophy.
Well, feel free to change that, Michi, because I have no idea what I'm doing with setups. I just grab stuff off YouTube and things like that.
Yeah, but therefore your setup doesn't look too bad. but I will have a look on it for sure. So I'm trying this again here. Brakes, yeah, and here you may want to turn in while being still on the brakes. And this is just enough of rotation. You're gonna get this car moving around the corner. So make sure to be off the brakes right after the turn in on the wheel, as it otherwise just spins around with you. So also the way I'm drifting this car right now is very much too much, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do that in a race.
Yeah. Yeah, it is simply too hard. Let me quickly see on the setup real quick. Can always run a higher rear wing, to be honest, and then looking at your bumps here, or at your setups, the slow rebound in the back is pretty soft. Can make that a little stiff. Okay, it is, well, it's pretty hard already, so that needs a new way of thinking. The reason why you sort of slide off the corner, especially in turn 2, is because the overall possibility of the car to rotate is not big enough, which is due to a pretty stiff spring rate at the front. So I'm gonna put that on 4. I'm just gonna resend you the setup once it's done.
Okay.
And the slow rebound at the front, I'm gonna keep that where it is, but I'm gonna soften the rear anti-roll bar to make that really soft, and stiffen the front anti-roll bar by a click to make that a little harder. That should help the overall balance in that regard. Otherwise, looking at your bumpers or your dampers, they look pretty okay, I believe. If any, then in general too hard. So I'm gonna take a click out at the rear by all of them, and at the front I'm going to stiffen up the fast bump, because you know when you go on the brakes, that movement, despite it's actually being controlled by the slow bump, might actually even interfere with the fast bump. So how to define which is fast bump and which is slow bump. This is in every kind of physics file of a car in rFactor 2, and there's a value set which is basically a threshold, and then the simulation calculates its speed of the movement. So as soon as you hit the brakes, the car obviously tilts forwards. Damn, I have a big Lego Ferrari lying around that could show this, but I've just got no space to put it on in order to make the movement. Oh wait, let me see. It might still work. You can see it on the video later then. So the special thing about this Ferrari is they've got independent suspensions. So as you may see, you can move the wheel up and down with the spring. So having said so, in the moment where the car brakes, and I'm gonna just show it with a one wheel at the rear. This is the car on the standard load, and the moment you hit the brakes, the car in the back goes upwards and the weight goes forwards, which means that this wheel is having less downforce in the rear and therefore producing less grip. And this velocity here, when the spring moves up and down, when the entire suspension is working, that is being described either in slow movement or fast movement, and is, I think, described, well, it really depends what is set in the physics, but as soon as this threshold in terms of velocity, in terms of moving velocity of the spring is exceeded, then the other bump is doing the job, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so in that regard, especially at high speeds, the weight might kick in violently, and therefore may also be affected the fast bump setting. And they have been really soft in the front, making the weight to impact pretty quick, so I've stiffened them up. And now we're gonna, well, I'll just go out and see whether I can do better with it. And then obviously you will go out with the setup and see whether you can do better with it, which is the main task of today. Oops.
I'm sure the first few laps will be tricky.
I'm not sure whether it will feel really different, to be fair. Also, speaking about driving lines, make sure you do that really good. You don't come too wide out of here, but you really want to go wide here, slow down, and then be as early as possible on the throttle again. So, what you often are doing, are you too narrow into the corner, I want to say. You are too close to the entry curve of turn 4, and therefore you need to wait so damn long to get on the power.
Okay.
Turn 7 you do really good, as there is this tight white tide approach, so that works pretty well in the Porsche, or in general on that track, in any type of car. So let's see how the brakes operate. Yeah, the movement is still there, but it's not as violently as beforehand.
So I noticed on that that previous corner, you don't go wide out onto the rumble strip, you stay on the track. Is that something you're always doing?
Well, probably not. It depends on the car. I've never tried it to use it with a Porsche. I can do it, but some cars the rumble strip might just bring some imbalance into the car, as it keeps the suspension moving before the actual turn, so it's not really prepared for handling the load it should handle then when going into Copse corner. However, with that kind of car it should work, so I'm maybe able to go over the rumble strip there, so you can feel free to keep doing so.
I've just seen so many videos of like fast drivers saying use all the track.
Which is basically true, yeah. Have you seen how early I was on the throttle there?
Yeah.
It was just a notch too early, but basically just what you need to do.
Yeah, I think you could do that because you're going wider out on the entry,
Yep.
which gives you more space really. Because I know what I was doing wrong. If I gunned it there, the back end would come out because I was too tight.
True. Exactly what I mean in that regard. So now you can also see how I balance the car around Mackett's, Beckett's and Chapel. Oops. Not with a counter steer, but really you want to maximize the line of that one here, as being as early as possible on the throttle. And I was 1.5 tenths down, but now I'm 7.5 tenths up on you. And you do not really lose a lot of time in turn 6, 7 and 9. It's basically just in that fast cornery section where you lose it. Also, you can maximize your exit quite hard when going late towards the apex of Stowe. Your turn 16, 17, where I'm at right now, looks pretty good though. There's not much to change really. I will give some general hint in the report later, of course, but that is basically how you do it.
159.65.
Yeah, dead. So I will further adjust some things in order to assist. I think there is some on-throttle understeer in the car, if you agree.
Yeah, I haven't noticed much understeer, but I've noticed that it slides a lot out. Like in the high speed turns, I can feel it sliding out. I couldn't tell if that was front understeer or if that was a whole car actually moving off to the left.
So what I will do is I go stiffening the slow rebound. That should further help you to not get into this weird kind of spin when being on the brakes, and I will also stiffen the slow bump, which should give you the possibility of the slow bump. That should give you the possibility of having less mid-corner on-throttle understeer, I want to say. So that was it about that. Also, your turn 6, that was one thing I just wanted to add real quick. And that means I will go out again just very shortly. Not sure if I will pull in a full lap. I'm trying to do everything in the out lap, but with cold tires it's kind of difficult to get it. Because basically turn 1, if you get that right, turn 2 is absolutely flat out with no problem whatsoever. So we've already spoken about the fact about turn 3 and 4. As I said, 3 is good. Feel free to invest the extra meter on the left hand side to really be slow here, and then you can literally pick up the throttle right on the apex real hard. Yeah, that should feel better again on the overall car balance. Also, you're quite early on the apex or on the curb here. Try to stay a little further away to then really come close to the apex here. I missed it this time though. Don't go as wide out of the turn in turn 7 as you usually do, because exactly this happens then. You may want to be a little further to the inside and let the car rotate a little earlier towards the back straight already. So that should give you a better exit and actually being early on the throttle again. This is why this track is pretty technical, to be honest. It's not because or it looks quite easy, to be honest, the Silverstone circuit, but to me it's one of the most technical tracks in the world, as there's so many corners that have a very distinctive style. Also here was too late on the curb, so that's why I run wide here. You need to compromise this turn 16 a lot in order to get a blast of an exit out of 17, which is this one. Just stuff like that. And speaking about the understeer, maybe I'm just not turning enough on the wheel. Just about to find that out. Yeah, seems the case. Yeah, I'm not turning enough on the wheel. Okay, haven't said anything. You're absolutely right, the car balance is fine indeed. So despite this little slide, I'm still gaining time out of that corner. So 3 1/4 of a tenth to be found here. Lost it. Have you seen that little touch in the brakes? We're gonna show look at that in the replay real quick once I'm done with the lap. We're gonna go through it. I'm watching the video normal, and then also in slow motion, so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. It might have a little too much rotation now, but we're gonna see. It is a little bit more aggressive when being on the throttle, but it should turn a lot more, so it should boost your lap time here. So going back on the tape into this turn 7, tape position 2307, or make it 8, doesn't matter. Make it 8.6, and we are at the same time.
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, so now if you go through it, wait before you go on with the tape. Around, yeah, 2311.6. This is where I shortly press the brake, and then you just watch what the car is doing. Just going through it by by quick motion or standard motion. Just go through it and see it.
Yep.
Got what I mean?
Yeah, I'm watching.
Otherwise, we're going through it through slow mo, and I'm gonna tell you where to start.
So how do you do the slow-mo on the
You press the arrow down on.
arrow down?
Just check it out real quick, see whether it works.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
So 2308.
Yeah, 2308.6. Go with that. Tell me when you have it.
There.
Okay, and then when I say go, you simply switch from, yeah, to press the button, the arrow down button, in order to keep the slow-mo going.
Yeah.
So 3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
What you see now is I'm little on the brakes. I'm starting to turn into this turn 7. Now I'm a little off the brakes because I'm not in the right speed, giving a little bit of gas again in order to speed up to come that little wide. And then I realize, oh damn, there's not enough rotation, which I realized right now. So I put on the brakes, and now you see how the car just does that little bit more of rotation that brings me pointing back towards the inside curb. And this is because of the very same reason. And I'm gonna bring up the Ferrari back in here, and we can basically stop watching this at that point. But what basically happens is a very simple thing. If we are in that turn, I need to turn this car around, steering to the right. I'm gonna make this extreme. So what's basically happening, the car is like, need to see on the camera there. And probably also put on the camera in big, there we go. Basically this wheel, the front left wheel is loaded very much so. So you can see the car dumps into the left hand side and rolls to the left. And with the downforce being the amount of downforce it is, it can handle a certain amount of turn as the tire is being pushed down on the road. Now, by pressing the brakes, you're going to bring up the load of this wheel here. So basically the car digs even deeper on the front. It also goes a little bit upwards, pushing the front, or pushing the weight to the front like this. I'm over exaggerating here in the video, but basically this is what happens, which increases the load on this tire here, making and increasing the friction on the ground, and that will make the car rotate more. At the same time, obviously, you have this the same thing here in the back. So while the car goes up here, I mean usually it is loaded like this, and then the moment the car goes up, the suspension gets unloaded a little. Here the rear end gets a little loosey, and also helps on the rotation of the car. So this is what you do with trail braking as well, as you maximizing the turn in while still being on the brakes. And this is exactly the thing that you really should do in this turn, as in, if you're going too quick, give it a little of brakes in order to make it rotate. Look at the inside of the corner again real quick, and then be perfectly fine out of the turns. But yeah, right now I'm going to give you back the setup and stop talking for a moment, as of
No, it's informative, Michi. It's good.
So if we're speaking about lap times real quick, the 1.1 seconds is obviously a little off now. I'm taking away a good an exact tenth of you in the first sector. I'm taking away nearly an entire second in the middle sector just because of the fast line, and I'm pretty sure you saw that your turn 10, 11, this is the entry of Maggots, Backets and Chapel, is really good. However, you are tending to go a little too quick into this turn 12, as you not stick with the ground, not stick with the curb on the inside. And this is what you have to do in this GT3. You have to stick on the left-hand side of the curb in order to maximize the angle, or to minimize the angle, minimize the turning radius of the turn 13, which is sending you back on Hanger Straight, in order to maximize the exit speed right there. Because this is where I make like surely to maybe even 3/10 of the. Sorry, this is where I make 2/10 of the 3.5 missing in the third sector, and then you will get there. But just go out now, and you have attached a new setup?
Yep.
Great, then have a go. Oh dear, me and my tongue. Happily, we found that out. Anyway, let's see what he can do now. I hope this kind of Ferrari thing. I wanted to actually make a video at some point, but I need to put up a proper camera and microphone and stuff to really put it on there. And do footage with it. So we're now looking at the driving lines. Lol. Yeah, this is nearly like you've did it 200 times beforehand already. So good job, keep doing that. Maybe go a tiny little bit longer straight. Go a little slower, then you can even get a better exit, but I'm not going even to be picky about it. It was a very good turn 4. So John really puts it into straight improvement. And also feel free to test this brake balance thing from time to time if you wish to get more experience of it. It feels weird beforehand to keep braking and then say you go actually faster with it, but once it goes over in flesh and blood, you're gonna be fine. Last question, what was your personal best around here?
2458.
Oh, so basically you're not that far away. See what you did right now there. I know it was because we were talking, but you were just going a little too quick into 12 and that got fucked up in 13. You will do fine though. I'm pretty convinced that he can improve a lot. Like a fair lot. You may want to try sticking in second gear there for turn 4, it actually should be better.
Okay. Too close that time.
Yeah, also a nuance too early on the throttle, but keep working on it. It's not, you know, it's not gonna happen from now to then.
I'm getting time back.
Yeah, it was a good save, but this is exactly what I mean. You come too quick out of 11, then you are compromised into 12 and even further compromised into 13. Was a good middle sector though, despite the fucked up turn 7. So I'm pretty interested. We got more than an hour to go, as John gladly took 2 hours at the same time.
Felt a bit soft there.
Say again?
Feels a little soft.
Gonna ask after turn 4. Too soft on the front or in the rear?
The rear maybe?
Yeah, well, rear is actually softer than the front. We can work on that though. So he has just matched his first sector by 0.06 of a second. It was a good turn 7. Now if he keeps the rest together, I'm pretty sure he can do a better middle sector. Not too bad. I mean, remember, we are only nearly exactly 3/10 of his PB. It's 290 thousandths of a second where we're away from it. Yep, you could have throttled that like 2 or 3/10 earlier still. PB though in the middle sector by 2.5 tenths. And this is exactly what I mean. Now he's nearly there. Sector-wise, he should be there already. Not going to be picky about it, of course, but I'm pretty sure we can get him to the 59s in the night. So, he off-tracks it. No. Dude, that was quicker than a 2:04. I'm pretty sure of that.
Yeah, I think it would have been what if I didn't get the track cut, it'd been like a 2.6 something. I mean, 2.1 something.
Yeah, yeah. Something like that. Like pretty quick, like damn quick in the middle sector. Okay. So you feel the rear end being too soft?
Yeah, there was one area where it like when I told you when it felt soft. I don't remember what turn it was, but it.
Yeah, you just finished the lap.
Yeah, when I gave it the gas, it just, I don't know, it felt like it just was slow to respond.
So you wouldn't say that the rear lost its turning ability for the traction though? Is that what you're trying to say?
Maybe it's the traction control kicking in. That's what I'm feeling, maybe.
Yeah, traction control map is on 1, which is lowest. You can turn it off though. Yeah, then it's entirely on yours. Could work. Really, it could work. Depends whether you want to try it. If you otherwise feel that the car is some sort of being too lazy there, you may want to... Well, you can even go a click harder on the slow bump in the rear. This will make the weight to come later back towards the rear end and decrease the on-throttle understeer out of the turns. However, if the car is about to spin, yeah, it gets harder to catch the spin. But whatever you want to like, just go for it.
No, the handling was really, the handling felt much better. I didn't feel that sliding effect of the whole car in the fast turn and the fast rights.
Yeah, this is due to the anti-roll bar, true.
Yeah, that went away, so that gave me a bit more courage to get on the gas earlier. Let me try it without traction control and see what it does.
Okay. Just go.
So I've set it to 0.
Yep. Ah. In the moment where you now went wide over this turn 7, that is where you could have slightly touched the brake and then you would have rotated earlier.
Okay. That section felt good.
Yeah, line-wise, pretty good. Could be a little quicker in terms of velocity during the corners, but it's absolutely fine. You get in there. Feels better there?
Yeah.
So,
Sloppy but fast.
yeah, could be down to the traction control, of course. Speaking of fast, he's off a little, and he's very much so. Yeah, also that is where you can touch the brakes a tiny little bit in order to get the turn done quicker. But yeah, this requires a lot of practice. Yeah, you rescued yourself very good out of the narrow entry into 12. Wow. He has just smashed his personal best in the middle sector by 3/10. Just completely out of the blue. So the lap he went wide and killed was a 53.06 in the middle sector. Now he just did a 52.66, so that is 4/10. Coming across the line in a 1:59.8.
Hey.
Awesome driving, awesome driving, awesome job. So you still lucked 2.5 and even 3/10 in the first sector. You went purple in the third sector. And by purple I mean you've beaten my lap time in there. And your middle sector, time-wise, I'm really surprised. That was biblical. I expected it to be a little slower, to be fair, because you turned 7. Felt like being a bit too wide, being a bit too far off, but it seemed like you had a blast of an exit. And also maybe traction control helped in that. I'm not sure if traction control adds a weight penalty. So if you got that off, maybe there is no weight penalty. I would need to confirm that. I can't tell by heart right now. But definitely that is a nice improvement. Jesus.
It felt on the edge the whole time. That was crazy on the edge.
Yeah, probably for a hot lap event it would work quite well. And this is probably why you want to have traction control being on all the time, as it just adds the little bit more of stability. Like I saw you being over the edge through 11, 12, 13, and this is why I say there's still plenty of time to gain for it. How you feel on the overall car balance, having said that though? Would you like to change anything? Was there anything that would make you think it could be improved while still having traction control being turned off?
I'm just thinking of the lap.
Feel free to just go out again and to do 2 or 3 more laps even, just to get more feel for it. Because I'm pretty sure. I mean, the 310 from the first sector definitely easy to find. I'm sure you're still like a tenth or two in the middle sector. I mean,
Okay.
you're just a tenth behind me now. Is that... Hold on. Yeah, it's just a tenth basically, so you're not missing much.
What would like one more wing do? Like take the wing to 10? That would just give you more downforce and slower straight line speed, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but not that much. So you could try it. It would give you definitely more stability in the fast corners, so it might be worth a go.
Yeah, let me try it. Let me try so no traction control and everything, but I put the wing to 10.
Yep, go for that.
Because like I said, I really felt like I was about to lose it nearly every turn. And that could have just been me running out of talent, you know.
I mean, this is also now where you can, where we could work on the dampers again in order to make the rear end softer a little bit and being able to work around more weight. Could increase the traction and stuff, but there's, you know, best is now to just get into rhythm with everything. I keep remembering myself when doing FSR and you do the first quali run with engine mode 7 instead of 1 and Q boost and having like massive power on the drivetrain. It takes time to get used to that. You just not go out and be on par with it. Now if you go to wide, try using the brake to make the car rotate.
Yeah, I just did that. I tapped it, and it brought the nose around.
Yeah, exactly. So this is, remember this every single time when you feel like, you know, I'm not just getting the line right, I would need more rotation. Before going on the set, try to do it with a brake. Because that is more accurate driving. And then you can maybe even run other setup possibilities that work better in other sections of a track, you know. And stay all to the left here, that is good. And don't go too hard over the inside curb there. But you're getting it right. It's just about a matter of getting things together. I'm also going to check on the top speed. The maximum value has been 256.2 in the other attempt. And you just did.
Yeah, what I tried to do different there is I tried to stay in 4th, because I noticed you were doing that in 4th. And then I shifted down to 3rd, and then it just came out from behind.
Yeah, it's due to the differential. So if any, you lost in kph on the hangar straight, but let me compare that with other in-laps.
And that's likely due to the increased wing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, also your exit out of 13 wasn't on top of it. But
oh no, that was crap.
yeah, if you do a better exit, if you focus on your exit, I'm more able to tell. Yeah, exactly. Those are the sorts of events where a short tab on the brake helps.
I'm trying to carry a bit more speed through there.
Yeah, again, you're too late on the throttle. It is okay that you shoot a little wide, as the left-hand king is easy flat out anyway. So you're allowed to overrun that a little.
Okay, I took that in fourth this time.
So I'm pretty convinced that his overall driving already has improved. He's feeling more comfortable. Also the set contributes. I want to add that it is all notice of you guys. Any improvement that's done here is all by his driving or the setup, as the real road has been put static. So whatever improvement is there, it's truly just coming by him. Whereas turn 1 and 2 was a big improvement, turn 3 and 4 sadly haven't been, so his personal best at 32.5. Whoa! Still at 32.5. With that, no offense, unoptimal turn 3 and 4. Yeah, too early on throttle there, should have used brakes just for a notch to make this no spin, and then throttle input would have been absolutely fine. Yeah, all he needs to work on is timing, and I'm gonna note that to put it in the report. Kinda interested in his feedback. On the consultancy report. .33.0 in the middle sector, top speed. Even quicker than in his PB, so the rear wing doesn't really hurt at all. Keep going for another lap. 2002. I'm wondering whether
Nah.
probably high tire temperatures, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is why a traction control would make sense, to be honest.
I'm gonna take it to 1. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm just not sure how it really affects the driving in such, in terms of having a weight penalty or not. What I can tell you though is that the rear wing does not infect the top speed too much. You have been 0.3 kph quicker than your actual PB. And yeah, well, with that being said, of course you butchered the turn 13 twice now, but still. That looked like a great cop's corner. Good exit out of 13. He off-tracked a lap beforehand. I was just wondering why I couldn't see no sector times here. He was on an out lap. See, you had a little to hesitate with a turn in here. If you go a little longer straight and turn in a little later, there won't be any hesitation, you will be just perfect on it. 32.7, that is 9,000ths of a second quicker than that is PB, which leads me to the opinion that there is no big weight penalty. I might be wrong though. Turn 7 looked okay. A little too quick in 12 again, loses it. Oh dear. Yeah, 53.1. It's no bad middle sector, considering the slide. To 0470. Yeah, that was a lot better. That should give him personal best.
Yeah, I felt like he had the speed that time.
Sector 1. Yep. Well, not personal best, but 32.6 is definitely a 10th quicker than his actual PB. He was a little too early there at the throttle. It's okay. It's no biggie. It's more important to not fuck up the fast turns. Yeah, cops looked alright. Now just get them done. Come on, boy. Oh, really quick through there. 52.8. Yeah, he lost a little time, obviously though. But still should be on a course for a 59. He's working very hard here on the wheel, fighting the car. Missed the apex and therefore fucks up turn 17. Now this is such an unforgiving turn if you fuck that up, which will put him back into a 2 minutes range. He doesn't even finish the lap entirely.
Yeah, traction control. No traction control felt better.
Yeah, I hear you, because there's no hesitation on the throttle. Just turn it off then. Let me quickly retry without traction control, please.
Okay.
Because that is an important thing, as we may even find something further in the balance, and we're going to tell him that. Could obviously be that without traction control, you need to somehow set up the balance of the car a little different. Let me see.
That would make sense. I mean, I had a hell of a lap going there, but I bended on the second turn. But I was already, I think, 275 up, and then I lost it.
Where do you mean exactly?
On the run I did with no traction control and the wing at 10.
Yeah.
I had a really fast turn 1 and
Oh
going
yeah,
to
yeah,
turn
yeah.
2.
Yeah. And then you been the turn 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that too. Also gives you obviously the chance to have a look again at driving lines and how I would say things should be done. Oh dear. Also try to really hit this curb on the right hand side that stays on to the middle of the track, and you just want to have a fluid run through all those turns, and I've just fucked it up. As going too deep into the inside turn, have to open the steering to keep on the track, and then obviously thrown away the turning momentum there. But the approach until the lap 13, turn 13 was just as it should be. To be entirely honest with you, I do not really feel that much difference with traction control off.
Okay.
But, I mean, if you feel it better, and even if it's just a placebo, go with it. As we're hunting for the lap times, you know. See how I threw the car around with a brake and then being able to push the throttle?
Yeah.
You will also see in the video what I did on the lap timer. Oh fuck. No! Nah, damage. But yeah, basically I was 6/10 up at that point. So I mean, I cannot really say it's bad, I cannot really say it's quick, I cannot really say it's good, and at the same time I cannot say it's slow. If you feel better with no traction control, keep going on it, and then I would say the ultimate challenge is to beat that 159.6, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well then, I think we should dedicate our time to that.
Okay.
As long as you feel comfortable with the set, just keep working on the driving. You've now seen a perfect example in the turn 7 for rotating the car with a brake just as much as you need it. It may be a little slower on the actual apex, say in... And this is where you sometimes have to divide between race situation and going for lap time. The way I did it right now, I'm surely a good 5 to 10 kph slower at the apex. which in standard circumstances when there is no traffic around you is absolutely fine. However, that might just open the door for one of your competitors to put his nose in.
Yeah.
So you have to maybe decide when you need to defend after doing things different at that point. However, if you are in clean air and hunting for lap time, I may lose a half a tenth in the actual turn 7 if you go from turn into exit point or exit curb, but I'm gaining over a tenth just by exit speed over the upcoming straight. So if you look at it as a gross value, so the gross net time gain is half a tenth, whereas the net time gain is negative half a tenth. So it's an actual loss through the corner. However, right where you are, you're still gaining time for having a better exit, and that is a time no one can take away from you, and no one is able to catch on the straight, because obviously the speed you go over the straight is being defined by the exit speed of the last turn. So that's the theory behind it. And with that being said, I'm gonna be silent to him again and just let him do. So he's now on to beat the 159.647. That's set by me, and he has a 159.809, which is 161 thousandths to go. And I'm pretty sure he can do it. He can improve it. If he improves his driving furthermore and keeps focusing on it, 58 are in prospect. It just needs pitch perfect driving. Very good 16 and 17. Keep doing that. Just got that final complex of turns absolutely spot on. Great 1 and 2. He compromises his entry angle into 3 a little bit too much. You're compromising yourself into turn 3 a little too much by staying too far on the right hand side. Try to take it turn 2 a little tighter while still being flat out, but to enable a better entry for 3. Having said this, all 32.641 in sector 1, which is really good. Turn 7 he not had to correct a lot by the brakes. It's all been good. Now I just can't wait for a good middle sector. No!
Ah, bollocks.
How much were you down? Or up?
He was hovering around almost 0 equal.
Yeah, okay. Just keep trying, just keep pushing. Try to get a better entry for 3, but don't slow down during turn 2. Can go for it. Do it, come on. Yeah, very much so. Ah! Old habit. Turn 3 was good, now you fucked up turn 4 by yourself a little. It's no biggie though. Should still be a good first sector time. Oh, a 32.498 indeed. So that is purple, isn't it? No, it's not. I did a better sector 1, but it is personal best indeed. Turn 7 looked to be alright. No! I know exactly why he lost it though.
Oh, damage.
Guess what happened? The 5% of brake input were enough to spin the car around there. Just keep going. You had a personal best sector 1 ever. 32.498, which is out of the box 2/10 quickest sector 1. Yeah, this is where you once again should slightly use the brakes.
I tapped it a bit. I guess maybe wrong place or not enough.
Yeah, what I did very often is I was dancing on the brakes, so keep dancing on it, like pressing it, leaving it, pressing it. It's just a way of getting towards it, get into the feel of what it does.
Understeer there.
Yeah. This is also where you want to tap the brakes very rarely, but this might just, instead of understeer, this is what I say, before you start on working on a setup to prevent the understeer in that area, you better just slightly tap the brakes, get the car a little bit into rotation, and then just go flat out. But now good luck for the laps. I really want to see him improve. I know he can do it. Had to compromise himself there. Too late, too early on the apex of 4. 32.6. So at least a good 10th. But this is how much potential there's still lying around. That could be a brilliant turn 7. I'm pretty sure he's up.
Ooh, lost a ton of time there.
Yeah, there was a little slide. You can gain it all back in that area though. Yeah, that was a good exit. That was a good exit. 32.7. So he just lost the 10th. He's pretty much identical right now on his PB. To me, he's too early here on the curb. Come on, go for the next lap too. Good job. He improves by 7 thousandths. Oh dear, this is going to be a long night if it keeps going like that, but no joking. It was a really good job here. $32,640, 30 thousandths off his PB now. This was a brilliant turn 7 there. Keep it going. That should also give him the time back. He lost on the other lap, so just keep getting that turn right here. He's a little off, yeah, that was expected.
Fuck.
Yeah, you already made that happen in the exit of 11 though, as going in a little too quick, a little too wide, you sort of missed to make the rotation and keep it in the middle of the road. The thing is, if I go again and set a lap time, it's probably going to be a lot quicker if I go again, but I would probably also, if you wish to, go again and re-show you the lines around the quick circuit. This is where you get it wrong occasionally still.
Okay.
It's just however you want to have it.
Yeah, go for it. And maybe, can you do them slow? Can you go through them
Yes.
with a bit less speed?
Yes. So, gonna disable push to talk.
So
again.
you're using no traction control as well?
Yes, I don't. Okay. I'm also going through this section real slow. It's basically you want to go long here, have a steep turn in and be on the throttle right over here already. Over exaggerated a little bit, but it's just basically you want to make the turn a lot before the actual apex, and you're going to see in the report what I mean. Also, when being on the brakes and turn, make sure to not have a lot of turning input on the wheel.
Okay.
As this makes the rotation controllable. This is what killed you here, especially. As you turn pretty hard on the wheel. If you just turn it like that, it's gonna be fine, okay? So I'm going through there a little slower now. So you wanna come, of course, kiss that curb here. Kiss this curb here, stay in the middle. So then take a little wider line, go over there, and have a brilliant exit over here. Well, have an exit, I mean. Just couldn't get enough rotation in it, but I think you kinda got what I mean. You're always some sort of compromising the next turn until to the very last turn, which you want to have the perfect entry for. And this is basically you set up your entry for turn 13 already in the exit of turn 10, more or less. Speaking about that. So I do a quick lap.
Yeah.
Oops. Gonna re-show you what I mean, especially for turn 3. Fucked up turn 1, but nevertheless, I want to be right here Well, not there, but... Oh dear. Could have nearly drift sliding it around. So yeah, I can take this lap quick as it won't be an improvement. But I want to make myself a line up with the entry curb on the outside in order to really give me the maximum turn in for turn 3, as I want to maximize the speed going through it, obviously. Also, you can look a lot of that video in the end about balancing the brakes. Sadly, you cannot see my pedal inputs, but it will be pretty obvious to you when I'm on the brakes and when not. Okay, I should...
Yeah, I saw you just tap it right then.
Yeah, exactly. So, as I said, turn 10 is going to define your turn 13. You stay here, the right. Well, if you don't fuck it up. I fucked it up. Fucked it up badly. I'm not sure if... The problem in those cars is the degradation itself is not that bad. It's the thermal degradation that kills you. So, once the tires heat up, once they get a certain amount of heat, they just get slippery and lose grip, despite there's still plenty of rubber on the tire left, as in percentages. But the very same thing just happens to me right now. Tire temperatures are not overly high, but the rear end just feels sloppy.
Yeah, I found if you ever bin it and then you try to race, even if it comes down to normal temperatures, it's not the same.
Yeah, exactly. This is where the thermal degradation has been simulated. Rubber that has been cooked once doesn't work anymore.
14.93.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
So this is better. Yeah, but the rear is just too sloppy.
So I noticed you always put the tire pressures down to the lowest. Is that just an rFactor 2 thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the very same thing like with iRacing, to not turn on the wheel too hard.
Yeah, it's all about smooth inputs, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. So I'm 4/10 up on my own. Oh, come on. Well, with a 300 degree on the rear hand tires, it's going to be hard to do the turns correctly, but I'm just going to try for it once again. So you want to kiss that inside curb here. Better want to then come to the left hand curb, and in the end want to oversteer into the wall. Yeah, it's just wasn't possible. Anyway, you can go for it again. I think it became some sort of clear where I wanted to put you, I guess. At least I hope so.
Well, I've never gone below 2 before, so...
Well, that's an achievement already, but I'm pretty sure there's... I mean, just if I combine your best sector times. Let me combine your best sector times. Well, you did a purple sector in your last attempt. So PB virtually 32,498 sector 1. Then you had a mind-blowing sector 2 at once. 665, that was pretty strong, never reached that again. And then, as I said, final sector is purple. And this gives you... And of course I'm not going to be picky about it. Yeah, 2 minutes 59,574. which is, well, basically the time you want to get in order to beat that benchmark. I mean, it's good to see right now that the 59.6 is a challenge for you. But I'm pretty sure that you can do better. And I'm looking forward to seeing that in the next 34 minutes still. Just don't pressurize yourself, that's very important. Don't pressurize yourself. Just focus on your driving, and rule number 1, never try to force the car into a position where it would not go. Having said so, I did exactly that. That made me spin around turn 3 on the first lap approach, where I really overturned the wheel and everything just to make the car go to the inside, to the outside for turn 3 again. And I just overdid it, as in to overdrive and over forcing the car, which it was not able to be handling. But now focus on a lap. As I was still in replay there, sadly. Was a good turn 4. If I would have to guess, 32.5, 32.6, 32.5. It's going a little too slow, too early on the apex there, or too early on the curbs. Yeah, you've been slightly too early in the turn 6 curb. I think you noticed it.
Yeah.
Oh, that could be brilliant. Throttle it. A notch too late on the throttle. Notch too late on the throttle there, out of the turn 13, but never mind, keep going. He is a little behind. He misses 2/10. He misses the turn 6. No joke. Just misses the turn 6. He just did 7 thousandths and puts a purple third sector by a 10th. He's done the exact identical time as he did beforehand. So we have a 1:59.809, we have a 1:59.802, and now with 1:59.809 again. And then he puts it 32.7. So he misses a 10th now in sector 1. Was a little bit better here in turn 6. Yeah, what he's doing right now is just perfect. He just starts very much putting into practice what I told him to do. And as I said beforehand in other episodes of Simracing Academy, doing the actual improvement during the session is very rare. Now, while we speak, he just did a 2:00.458 beforehand. Now, by redefining the setup a little bit, redefining the driving lines a little bit, he already improved towards a 1:59.8, so 6/10 already, as he now puts it in 52.7 in the middle sector, which is just 4 thousandths off his PB, or his PB time middle sector there, and he was just half a tenth off sector 1. So if he nearly just gets in as good sector 3 in as he did the last lap around. I think with the slide he killed it. It could be marginally going to a 59.7. 804. Can't believe it. Well, some would say you're really consistent.
Yeah, that was pretty spot on.
I mean, it's interesting. You did a 59.809, then you improved to a 59.802. You do 59.809, 59.804. That is accurate as F. So, honestly, you just need to keep working. You just need to keep hitting and nailing any other apex, and at some point you're gonna get it together and smash the 0.6 by a mile.
Yeah, because I remember on the hot lap challenge from Studio 397, you were like a 157, weren't you?
Yeah, I did 157.7. I wasn't a McLaren though, but yeah, I mean, cars are identical to a certain extent. It's just another values on the setup and therefore a little bit different to balance them up. But overall, the BOP is good.
I almost feel like on that exit that you aim for the DRS sign and gun it.
How do you mean?
I'll show you next lap.
Okay. This line is pretty good. If you can take that a little quicker, it will definitely boost your exit speed there. Also, don't cut too much of the turn 11 apex. This is the right-hander. You just want to kiss the curb, because if you go too far on the inside, your wheel some sort of hugs up on the inside and then jumps over the curb, unsettling the car when going off the curb. Right, let's see this. He's on verge really for breaking into the 0.7s or even 0.6s. He just needs to get the things together. Seemed a little slow through one. Can even stay tighter through two. Okay, got what you mean. You could have even stayed tighter to turn 2 on the exit, but this is all good. Looks like a good sector 1. Yeah, 32.580. 1.3 tenths quicker than his PB. Brakes. Oh, he could have saved that. Only about just. I think he's still on improvement way. Oh, if it doesn't off track, now that is a good turn 9. Good turn 9 there. So now C10, 11, a little too far, maybe also a little too slow. Yeah, sort of fucking up the rhythm and throttle it. It's not the optimal not the optimal speed there. 52.59 though. Personal best in the middle sector by half a tenth. Now, if he just puts an average sector 3 in, which he's able to do, save, he's gonna beat my lap time. Don't off track it. Oh dear. 59.620, and that is job done. That is job done. He's beaten it.
Shit, I stunned myself.
I was like, if you just get an average third sector in, and it was really just average because you lost over a tenth to your purple, a tenth and a half really. And it's just, if he just puts in an average third sector and doesn't savage it, he's gonna beat the lap time. And I was like, who? Okay, it's just 26 thousandths, but good job indeed. I thought that going through turn 11, 12, 13, that looked a little slow between 11 and 12. It was a good exit on 13 though. I was lean towards saying you were too late on the throttle again out of 13, but then I saw you fighting the wheel still. So maybe be a little bit more smooth with your pedal inputs. That should boost your lap times as well. As in you really saw on the wheel. Is that the right word? Saw you C-wing. So no.
Yeah, you could see me jerking the wheel, trying
Yeah,
to control it.
exactly. If you get more smooth towards that and more like, okay, if I need to counter steer, I need to just put it this, and then slightly go backwards, bring the car back into balance. That helps a lot because this Porsche is very turning in the very first few percent of steering wheel input, and then it gets sloppy and sluggy and sort of swampy. It gets a little dumb, I want to say.
Yeah, it gets slow and boggy, like you're in mud.
Yes, exactly. But the initial reaction on the turning wheel, like the initial turning, that is a really strong effect, and that's why you want to make that as smooth as possible, just to keep it controlled, you know.
Yeah, I noticed. So the fast right-hander after what's it called? With the pegs, crickets, or something like that. After the so that tight right-hander, and then you power out. Then you pass the pegs on the right-hand side. I can't remember the name of it now.
Which turn number you mean? Turn 17?
Let's see, turns.
I mean, which one you in the beginning of the lap or in the end
Might
of
be
the lap?
easier. I'll just show you.
Okay.
I never remember all the names.
I should have brought up a track map beforehand. Because usually I bring up track maps so people know exactly what kind of turns we're talking about.
Yeah, here.
Yeah. What is
So
it?
I found if I enter it in fourth,
Yep.
and if I barely move the wheel and aim for here,
Yep.
it keeps more speed. But if I miss that mark, and it's a really tiny mark to miss, then it feels like the car slows down a bit through that turn.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. That is what I mean. If the initial turning is very strong, and then suddenly the steering becomes sluggish and dumb, and this is where you are in that moment of slide. I want to say, like, it is a tiny slide, but it really slows you down too much, as you're not really in control of it. You noticed you were a little too far away again after turn 3?
Yeah.
That turn line looked really brilliant. So I'm already taking some notes for the consultancy report. Yeah, if you widen your entry a little more, this is spot on. And by the way, what an absolute flyer in Sector 2. Holy shit. 42.4 in Sector 1, that is an improvement by a tenth. 52.3 in the middle sector, 2.5 tenths. Now, don't do an average in Sector 3. Oh, and he does it. He does it even worse. He's throwing basically away the entire lap.
Bollocks.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Just to put it into place, he did a 34.295 as purple in the final sector. To now put in a 34.635. He lost 2/10 to compared to his PB, which was 34.441, and now he did 34.635. So still puts it PB.
If you're talking Michi, I can't hear you.
I was
heard brilliant
talking.
flyer.
Yeah, well, to be totally honest, you've thrown away a 59.2.
Don't tell me that.
I do. I need to, yeah, I'm your coach, I need to kick your butt.
I shift down to first too soon there.
Yes, a tiny little bit. Yeah, not too good of a lap this time. Also thrown it away. Oh no, wait, this is out lap still.
Damn it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're starting to overdrive right now.
Yeah.
Wow, 59.4 despite overdriving.
Yeah, tires are done.
Yeah, agreed. So much agreed, but still, middle sector pretty brilliant. First sector has been your personal best indeed. You lost a lot in turn 6 when I was saying, okay, you're overdriving now. Rest of the sectors were really good. So just keep on working that. You see you're improving consecutively. So after putting 59.802, 59.809, 59.804, then not some sort of snap. Then you did 59.621, 59.500, 59.400. So you're constantly still learning. You're constantly still improving, and this is, you know, the phase between learning. I've just set you a foundation, and you already did an hour of work beyond that. It's not me coaching you too much right now. I'm just doing the fine tuning, adjusting of what you do, but you actually have took what I said into consideration. You've already adapted to your driving, and now you're just finalizing. You're some sort of getting into flesh and blood. I'm not just assisting, making you aware of things that might be already obvious to you, but I just make sure that you've been made aware anyway, regardless of whether it was obvious or not. So if you now keep working on the thing with the brake, and I'm pretty sure you got to start doing this once you hit the barrier on doing it right now, at some point you're gonna continuously slip in 58.9, 58.9, 59.8, and this is then when you start experimenting and like, okay, if I'll go a little quicker into 7, but then use the brake to make the car rotate mid-turn and get a blast of an exit. Do I then get a 58.7? That is the things that has been natural, as I just made you aware, so I'll lay down a foundation, a basement, and you now just walk through it and do your own way about it. So 10 minutes to go, keep doing, keep going. Maybe we can even further improve you.
What do you think? I mean, we didn't touch anything like packers or ride height or any of that stuff. Do you think that would make a difference, or like if we lowered the car, would it help with the center force, or would it just spin it around? Or
To be honest, it could do something good with it. It could also do something bad with it. I can only tell you I'll lower the rear end of the McLaren from front 5 to 5.5, rear 7.0 to towards rear to 6.5. And right now the Porsche is 5.6 front and 6.3 in the rear, which is pretty okay. Also minimal packers just help to avoid the complete bottoming out. So I think on the right side we're pretty much at an I want to say spot with forces to stay there. Like, well, there is a good word in German that hits the nail on the head. Let me see if I can get this translated, but I would just keep it where it is right now and
okay,
just keep going.
okay.
So let's see if I can find.
So then let's see what I can do in the last 8 minutes.
Exactly.
I'm just happy for once in my life I was faster than Michi Hoyer.
Well, you are indeed.
Until you get in the car again.
Well, I got in the car twice after that, but I couldn't get it done, so you could. I mean, okay, you had more attempts, but still. So the word I was looking for is with the current right height and packers where we are right now, we found ourselves in a place or location of perseverance. If that makes any sense. Does that word even exist, perseverance?
Well, perseverance has paid off because I'm faster than I've ever been.
Okay. That's a good bombshell to end this one. Well, we're not ending yet. We're still 7 minutes to go. That means 3-4 more attempts.
If I take that too much to the inside, then I get a lot of oversteer on the out.
Yep, true.
Was that late?
That was the one time I wasn't... hold on. Late in what regard?
On the gas.
A tiny little bit maybe, but you really compromised yourself too much through 12 already. So you couldn't really go much more early. But yeah, it was a little late. Now stay close to second, come on, stay close. Yeah, sort of. Good turn 3 indeed. Now hit that 4. Oh, good. That is brilliant. That is a good line. That is basically a very good line. That was a great line through 4. Maybe a little too slow. 32.391. That is that purple? No, it's not. But it is personal best in sector 1. And he should know it by himself that he just did personal best sector 1. So the last...
slow through there.
Never mind, keep going. Personal best sector 1. And dead. I'm gonna speak on Hanger straight to him about this turn 4. First analyzing 12 and 13 though. That was really quick, really good one. 52.5 is still good. Guys, not gonna lie, he is going to beat himself again. 60,000 in sector 1 and even 19,000 in sector 2. If he just gets his third sector correct, I'm pretty sure we can see a 0.3 here. 59.3. Wow. How do you do that?
I don't know.
He keeps hitting the flat zeros. A 59.300. If I would have had anything to mourn about the first sector of last lap, then you were a little hesitant out of turn 4, but this looked good again. Keep going. He's just 70 thousandths off his PB. He said he lost time through 7. Let's see if he can pick it up this time. Looks early in the throttle. Very aggressive though. Let's see. He really had a really good 10, 11, 12. Ooh, I was very far on the inside. Never mind though. Keeps, yeah.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, over pendling the weight there.
Yeah, you saw me giving it a shake to sling it, didn't you?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Yeah, that threw me off.
Alright, you got one final attempt if you wish to. But how do you do that, in all honesty? Like, beforehand, 802, 809, 804, 809 again, and then 500, 400, 300.
I don't know. I guess good coach and consistent.
Okay, wait, basically, there's no point in getting out again because the session will cut off before you can
Yeah,
finish
no
the
worries.
lap.
I'm tired anyway.
Yeah, I was thinking exactly that like 30 minutes ago, that you're starting to get a little
Yeah,
tired.
cool,
but
man. That was very educational.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it. I have to say, you also did a pretty awesome job. Like, it doesn't happen very often that people like really improve in the actual sessions in the very beginning. So, as we speak, I'm pretty damn happy with what you did today, and I'm very convinced that this will bring you on in the future. And you know, basically you take around the circuit any other car, and you now know the lines, you now know a little more of how to do, and also in the consultancy report you will get up a little more educational in terms of dumper settings and all that kind of stuff. So you will also learn a little bit, okay, how can I fine tune, how can I fine balance the car. So that will definitely help you in the future, I hope. And beyond that, if you keep working on, I see no evidence why you should not get into 58 soon. I would need to calculate out of the personal best that you can get out of this. Let me see. So if we just combine perfect sectors right now, 52, 371 and 34,295. Yeah, your personal best virtually is a 159,058. So I would not see a reason why you not should get into 58s at some point. Just need to keep on working. Your last two laps have been really good. Apart from the fact that you've been the last one, but you were on the verge of getting a personal best sector in sector 2 again. So that was good stuff. That was a really good job there.
Cool, man. Well, hey, Michi, thank you very much. I'll keep on practicing, keep on watching your videos, and yeah, I'll be in touch.
Thank you very much indeed, man. Also, do you have any feedback on what to maybe improve, or what would you say has helped you the most?
I mean, your feedback helped the most. I mean, what can I say? You were pretty clear to me where I was making mistakes, which I think lent itself to me improving so quickly lap after lap, because I wasn't guessing what you meant. No, I mean, look at the results. I think they speak for themselves.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm very happy with what you did. I mean, basically, your net improvement is a full second, even more than that. So coming from a 58, no, a 204, you said 2004.
Yeah.
I might admit though, that we had a little, how shall I say, a little improvement in no traction control. I think it really adds some weight penalty, or at least it doesn't slow you down in that regard as much, so as it does not reduce the power. I'm pretty sure half a second is down to the traction control, but the other half a second, or even the 6/10, are down to little setup improvement, and basically improvement of driving. I think basically just the driving itself, working with everything, getting still known to everything that's going on in the car. Pretty sure 4 to 5/10 on the driving itself. Yeah, so you really did an awesome job there, and I'm very glad and happy that you enjoyed it and that you could also improve from it.
Yeah, me too, Michi, and I'll be in touch, man. I'd like to do another session in the future as well.
Oh, that is awesome. Thank you very much indeed. So quickly gonna end this video for you, and then I can have a little brief talk with you again. So guys, that's gonna be it for today. That's gonna be it also for John Seyerle. He has done an awesome job. He has done such big improvements. I'm really glad, I'm really happy that he could make them. I'm really happy I could help him there. And if you guys are interested, check out the descriptions of the video below as to get in touch with me if you want to get faster, if you want to get coaching for what I think is a reasonable pricing here. You also find those information down in the description. Guys, thank you so much for watching this. This is the Simpid. I'm Michi Hoyer, and I'll see you guys out on the track. Had to do that little joke, sorry.